Hey guys, welcome back, or welcome if you are new. Hope you're having a fantastic day. In this video, I want to continue on with my best of 2025 series. I am almost done with the best of. I just have a few more videos that I will be sharing towards the beginning of this next week here, and then everything will be wrapped up. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing some more home fragrance related favorites. Now, in the last several home fragrance favorites from 2025, I went ahead and shared 5 fragrances from the brands that I tended to frequent the most last year. In this video, I'm going to be combining 3 different brands, so Voluspa, Sniff, and Nest, because honestly, I didn't try as much as I originally thought I would in terms of new fragrances from these particular companies last year, so I thought I could go ahead and just jam them all into one video. So I have a few different scents from each of these companies that I really loved in 2025. So I just thought I would go ahead and share them all in one video. There is still one more home fragrance video in the best of 2025 series that's coming, and that will be Homeworks. And then I've got some skincare and skincare devices, but unless you're following me for my beauty content, those are probably not interesting to you. But anyway, yeah, if you're interested in any more of my home fragrance related content, make sure that you are subscribed. Hit that subscribe button, and also don't forget to give this video a big old thumbs up. So yeah, in 2025, I definitely enjoyed a number of fragrances from Sniff, Nest, and Voluspa that really kind of rocked my world. All 3 are what I would consider not necessarily like, well, I guess you could kind of put them more in the luxury price point, because the candles, they just are more expensive. I really have, for the most part, enjoyed the quality, especially from Voluspa and from Sniff. Nest, still, I tend to stick with their 1 wick candles, the 8-ounce candles, because anytime that I have purchased a 3 wick size, it has just not worked out well for me. For whatever reason, the 3 wicks just get really messy at the halfway point, and even if I can find those on sale, oftentimes I will skip them because they just are such a disaster that, you know, it's not worth it even getting them at a discount. So anyway, yeah, I'm really excited to share these fragrances with you, and I would love to know if you have any favorites from either of these 3 companies here. Let me know in the comments down below. I'll go ahead and link any of these fragrances that I am mentioning here in the description box if you want to go read up a little bit more about these scents yourself. Maybe check out other people's reviews. Like I said, I'll have them linked down below. But yeah, you guys, let's get into it and let's discuss these amazing fragrances from these slightly more expensive home fragrance companies that I was enjoying in 2025. I definitely am looking to try more from these 3 companies, and I also would like to branch out to some other luxury candle brands this coming year as well. So yeah, if you have any suggestions for me, let me know in the comments below. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started, and we are going to kick it off with Voluspa first. So let's dive into that. Really quickly, one thing that I forgot to mention in the intro here is that I do have in-depth reviews for all of these fragrances that I'm going to be mentioning. So if you want to dive a little bit deeper into each of these scents, definitely check out my different playlists. I have a playlist for Voluspa. I know I have one for Nest. I'm not sure if I have created one for Sniff quite yet, but I might just go ahead and create that playlist. So you can look up all of these fragrances here on my channel and get a lot more in-depth information about them. but I'm just going to be talking about the fragrances a little bit more broadly in this video. So we're going to go ahead and start with Voluspa, and there are 4 fragrances that I really thoroughly enjoyed from Voluspa in 2025. This is a home fragrance brand that I have really fallen in love with. They are at a higher price point, I will definitely admit that, but it's one of those brands that for me personally, I would rather kind of save my money up and then really splurge on something nice from Voluspa versus getting, you know, several different fragrances from a less expensive candle company. I'd rather just have one really nice, big, beautiful vessel with a fragrance that totally rocks my world versus, you know, a bunch of you know, individual candles in different fragrances. Like for me at this point in time, if I really love something, I will just totally dive into that and love it. So yeah, for me, it's a spendier brand, but I will say, I think that everything that I've personally invested into Voluspa so far has been completely worthwhile in my eyes. So the first fragrance I'm going to mention is their Noble Fir Garland, which I do own in the 5-wick hearth size. If you follow me for my weekly home fragrance roundups and you've been around my channel for the last couple of months, you have probably seen that candle in my Saturday video where I'm, you know, just kind of burning it in the background. This is such a beautiful holiday tree scent, and this was my 3rd year with that 5-wick hearth. Those candles take forever to get through, and that is what makes them worthwhile in my eyes, is that I know that if I really love a fragrance, it is much more economical for me to just purchase the big Mama Jama versus going back and repurchasing either the 3-wick hearths or the 3-wick tins every time that I run out of that fragrance. So, you know, just kind of pick whatever floats your boat there. You can certainly repurchase over and over again, but for me, I love the look of the 5-wick hearth candles, and if there's a fragrance that I really love, you bet your bottom dollar that I'll be just getting the big guy and enjoying that. In fact, I am getting ready to commit to buying a 5-wick hearth of their new Nepali passion fruit scent that they just released. I actually have not even stuck my nose in it yet, but I've watched some initial reviews, and I think it is definitely one of those fragrances where I probably am not going to have to bother testing the smaller size. I probably should. Honestly, I probably should, but I may just go ahead and skip testing with the 3-wick tin and go for the big guy, because this is how much I trust these hearth-sized candles from Voluspa. They just, for the most part, burn incredibly well. I have had an issue with the next fragrance that I will mention, but it is the only one so far in the hearth size that has given me any type of problem. And that fragrance is Tahitian Coconut Vanilla. Tahitian Coconut Vanilla from Voluspa actually started out as a Sephora exclusive several years ago, and then I think that exclusive partnership ended, and then the Tahitian Coconut Vanilla popped up on the Voluspa website, and they had it in the hearth size. And so I just went ahead and because I had already tried the small, like 1-wick tin way back in the day when it was a Sephora exclusive, I knew I liked that fragrance. So I just ordered the big Mama Jama, and it has tunneled on me basically from the get-go. I'm not sure why, but despite that, the strength and throw has never been affected. It's just, I just don't like the way it looks burning. But that being said, I would still, even with dealing with a little bit of tunneling with the Tahitian Coconut Vanilla, I will still repurchase it after I finish the one that I have, because it is such a delicious, juicy, perfectly sweet summer fragrance. It's just a really happy scent, and it just puts me in a very good mood. So that is one where if you are a big fan of Coconut, if you are a big fan of vanilla. I honestly can't recommend that one enough. It's so juicy, so sweet, just, it's the epitome of summer happiness. I actually hate the summer. If you're new here, I hate warm or hot weather. Like, there's just nothing worse for me. I'm thriving in January right now. It is, I think it's like 40 degrees out right now. I wish it was actually colder. So for me, I am not a warm weather person, but I do like the warm weather smells, and that particular one even puts me in a good mood in the summer, and that is a feat as someone who absolutely hates summer weather. So, all right. The third fragrance would be their California Summers, which is not a gourmand. It does have kind of a beachy, like salty ocean air type of vibe. There's some coconut notes in that one as well, but it's a much fresher fragrance, not edible at all. Like, this is not a gourmand. This is not a like edible coconut. It's more of a perfumey, beachy coconut scent, but oh my gosh, is it amazing. I only ever tried that one in a small, tiny little sample tin that I got with one of my orders. And as soon as I smelled it, I was like, oh yeah, I don't need to try the 3-wick tin. I'm just gonna I'm gonna size up immediately on that one. And to this day, no regrets. I love that scent. It's actually already downstairs in my entryway. It's a fragrance that I definitely enjoy from the spring through the end of summer. So I don't think I'm gonna finish that one this year. I started it last summer. I'll probably get like another third of the way through it, and then probably finish it next year. And then would I buy another 5-wick hearth of that? Sure would, because that's a great scent. And the last Voluspa fragrance is their Spiced Pumpkin Latte. So good, you guys. It's more of a sophisticated pumpkin spice scent. Really well done, not overly spicy. Definitely not like as sweet and sugary as some other, you know, pumpkin spice scents can be, but just like perfect for the fall. It's a very elevated pumpkin spice fragrance. And also the vessels are, actually, here it is. Look what I did. I cleaned it out, and I'm now keeping my different sponges and whatnot in here. But yeah, this is the 3-wick hearth here. I loved the new vessel design that came out last year. I actually purchased this at the end of holiday season 2024 when there were a bunch of clearance sales happening. So I got this 3-wick for, I think it was less than $40. So if you are looking to save some money on Voluspa, like out of season candles, I would highly suggest looking at the fall and holiday stuff from Voluspa now. There's some good deals out there. If I can find some screaming deals on these 2 like out of season fragrances that I mentioned, I will certainly be linking those. But yeah, this is another one of those where I will definitely repurchase it. I am thinking about getting a 5-wick hearth size so that I can have it for a few falls coming forward. So we'll see where my candle budget is as we get a little further or closer to fall 2026, and if I think that I'm gonna have room in my budget for it, I'll just get the big one instead of getting another 3-wick hearth here. But I mean, I wouldn't be mad at having another one of these either, because like I said, gorgeous, absolutely stunning. And these also come with lids, which make nice little coasters for your candles as well. So just a beautiful vessel, gorgeous design, high-end elevated fragrances from Voluspa. And if you've never checked anything out from them, I love their wax formulation. They use a cocoa wax blend, so it's coconut wax. It's very soft, but it burns really well, and it gives a very nice strength and throw without being dirty or sooty. It's kind of like soy in that respect. I really like coconut wax. So if you've never tried it, go check out Voluspa. They are mwah, chef's kiss, love them. Next, let's move on to, should we do Sniff? Let's do Sniff next. So let's get into them. I originally discovered Sniff because of their perfumes. So that was where I got started with Sniff. They also offer laundry care products as well as obviously their home fragrance products. So, but yeah, I originally started with purchasing their perfumes and have a number of them in my collection. They make a really great perfume formulation that is actually just an eau de toilette that somehow behaves like an eau de parfum on my skin. It just has such great lasting power. So I love the Sniff perfumes. 10 out of 10 would recommend trying them. But when it comes to their candles, I have really discovered some wonderful scents from them. And any of the ones that I'm mentioning here, I would wholeheartedly recommend checking out. My favorite format from Sniff is definitely their 50-ounce 4-wick size. But I have tried the 1 wicks. I have also tested their 2 wicks. And they also offer votives as well. I've never bothered with the votives, but for me, the 4 wicks give the most oomph, if you will. They're the most expensive candles from Sniff. I believe they are right around like $129. But the thing about Sniff is that they actually offer a really great rewards program. So make sure that you sign up for that. You definitely will earn a good amount of points for each purchase, and then you can use that to apply to future purchases and bring the cost of their either candles, laundry products, or, you know, like personal perfume products. It brings the price of those down quite significantly. So anyway, Sniff is a really great company, and I have a few fragrances that I want to mention from them. I don't think the first one is going to be a surprise if you have been here on my channel for the last several months. Mornings at Le Bon. I have fallen in love with this fragrance, and it's one of those that I now consider like a holy grail fragrance that is a staple in my collection, something that I always want to enjoy going forward. I really have my fingers crossed that they don't ever discontinue this particular fragrance. I will be heartbroken. I will be super heartbroken if they do away with it. Somehow this particular fragrance to my nose manages to smell like I am walking into a bakery. It has all of the nuances of a bakery. You smell like this chocolate chip cookie note. Somehow in the background, there's this like latte note floating around. There is this sweet kind of sugary vibe, but it's not overwhelming. There's also some notes of like some bread baking in the background. It's literally like you are walking into a busy bakery and you are there to pick up your morning cup of coffee and your fresh loaf of bread. There's cookies baking in the background. It's the happiest fragrance. It's the most authentic fragrance. I love it, and I just don't ever want to be without it. I didn't even bother starting out with any of the smaller sizes. My friend Drew confirmed to me that this was an amazing scent, and Drew doesn't usually typically steer me wrong, so I just went for the Big Mama Jama to begin with, and I have no regrets. I currently have 2 backups. I have one going downstairs, and because these candles aren't cheap, the fact that I have a couple of backups definitely says a lot. Like, these are amazing, and I don't want to be without. It's such a great fragrance. So if you haven't tried Mornings at Le Bon, obviously I can't recommend it enough, but yeah, anyway, for what it's worth, I love it. Okay, the next fragrance, and this I would say was definitely my number 2 favorite from last year, is their Guilty Pleasures fragrance, which to my nose kind of smelled like a really great replacement to Bath & Body Works Raspberry Peach Macaron. But I feel like with Raspberry Peach Macaron, there's this kind of sour note that at first, when the scent first came out from Bath and Body Works, I never smelled, but I definitely smell it now. I still have, hold on, let me see, are they still down here? Yeah. Oh my gosh, you guys, look, I still have, I guess I should show you the label. I still have some of the original little mason jars of raspberry peach macaron. But yeah, I remember when this first came out, I didn't smell that sour note. I smell it now. I still kind of like it, but I don't get that sour note in Guilty Pleasures. Very, very similar fragrances. They're both like really beautiful, fruity berry gourmands, but no sourness from the Guilty Pleasures at all. It is so delicious, you guys, and I currently have a 4-wick in my cart, and it's been really hard for me to not just like go ahead and order it. I'm gonna try to wait until February because honestly, I need to take a little bit of a break from purchasing candles. I'm trying to work on what I have in my collection for the first month or so of the year here before I start adding a bunch of other things. So, but I do have one in my cart, and I definitely will be picking it up at some point, probably in March. I'm gonna see if I can wait until March, but that is such a great fragrance. And if you've never tried it, absolutely would recommend. Big Flirt was another one. In fact, I purchased the Guilty Pleasures and the Big Flirt together in one haul last year. Guilty Pleasures has more of a chocolate undertone, really rich, really deep, dark chocolate scent. That one I don't think is gonna be for everybody, but I really liked it. There was also this kind of interesting like perfuminess that went along with that one that you wouldn't think would be a good addition, but it just was great. That was an amazing scent. I would definitely purchase a 4-wick of that particular one as well, but I think if I had to pick which I loved more between Guilty Pleasures and the Big Flirt, I think I'd have to give it to the Guilty Pleasures, but I would definitely welcome a 4-wick of Big Flirt as well. So maybe I will do a 4-wick of Big Flirt later on this year as we get a little further into fall and the holidays. Maybe I'll do a chocolate candle for the holidays this year, and I think that would probably be a good one. It also has a really like deep red wax as well, so I feel like that'd be great around the holidays. So anyway, the last fragrance from Sniff that I want to mention is their Old Saint wick. This is one that I wanted to try last holiday season and never got around to, so I ordered just a 6-ounce of that one to test out for this holiday season. Yep, love it. Again, kind of a straightforward tree scent, but really, really well done. Just the small 1-wick that I had did incredibly well in a powder room, but I wouldn't expect that to scent a large area of my house. However, if I get the 4-wick, I can easily put that one in the entryway. And I just have a feeling, based on the fact that the way that my other 4-wicks from Sniff have performed, that would basically scent my whole house. So it could just be another great like larger holiday tree scent that I could maybe have for a couple of years in a row. Just a really beautiful green glass jar with green wax and a straightforward but beautiful, perfectly done holiday tree scent. Really, really like that one. I believe that one has some sandalwood in it, and that just really kind of softened that tree note a little. It's beautiful. Listen, if you are still burning tree scents here in the new year, I would definitely recommend picking that one up. I think it could be lovely in January as well. The only reason that I don't continue on with tree scents in January, because I do think they are probably seasonally appropriate still, is that it just reminds me of the holidays. And once I put my holiday decor away, I have to get rid of anything that reminds me of Christmas, because it just really bums me out that the holidays are over and then I have to wait like another 10 months to make my house festive and fun again. So anyway, those are my personal favorites from Sniff for 2025. So lastly, let's dive into the favorites from Nest. Nest was one of the very first home fragrance companies that I really splurged on. So I think it's been about a decade now that I have been purchasing their Birchwood Pine and their Holiday Duo every single holiday season. That was kind of where I started with Nest. I like their perfumes as well. Like, I have a number of the Nest perfumes in my collection. They're so incredibly lovely. But I really definitely enjoy the Nest candles as well. Now, I've mentioned this already, but for me, I tend to stick with their 8-ounce 1-wick candles because the 3-wicks just always tend to get really messy. And by messy, I mean it's like the wicks just completely seem to deteriorate, and there's a lot of carbon residue that falls into the wax, which completely discolors it. And in the case of most of these fragrances, it has, for me, affected the scent for the last half of the candle. It just kind of makes the fragrance go from really bright and vibrant to a little bit kind of dirty smelling, sooty smelling, if you will. So that is why at this point, even if I find them on sale, I typically won't buy the Nest 3-wick candles. But the 1-wicks normally burn incredibly well. So there's only a few fragrances that I want to mention candle-wise from Nest last year. I honestly did not try a whole lot new from Nest in terms of home fragrance. I know that they released their Voyages collection, but I cannot get behind the price point of that collection at all. I mean, they're like the 2-wick candles, which I think are right around like maybe 21 or 22 ounces. They're like, I think $250. Like, it's kind of a crazy price point for how small the candle is. Listen, I will spend $250 on a candle because we know that I buy the Voluspa hearth candles, and those are right around that price point. But that is a massive 5-wick candle in a beautiful vessel, not like a 21-ounce like 2-wick, like a big difference in size and amount of wax there. I'm just not willing to spend quite that much on the Voyages collection. But anyway, I actually do have a new Nest scent on its way to me. I ordered their new Tropicals fragrance, which was just released after New Year's. That should be here actually this next Thursday. So I will do just a initial kind of impression in my next weekly home fragrance roundup this next Saturday. So I can give you guys, you know, a sense of what this fragrance is all about. I was able to find it at a really good discount. So I was like, okay, I'll definitely snag this and be able to review it. And hopefully if it's amazing, I will repurchase it again later on this year during the summer. So fingers crossed. I'm expecting good things from this particular scent. It sounds like a tropical delight. So anyway, let's talk about the 3 fragrances that I do specifically want to mention from Nest that I really enjoyed this past year. You know the first 2 because I've already mentioned them. It's Holiday and it's Birchwood Pine. I love Birchwood Pine. I love Nest Holiday. Both of those fragrances have been staples for me for the holidays for many years now. Holiday is a beautiful, sophisticated, very like high-end type of hotel lobby type scent to my nose. There's some pomegranate, some citrus. It's kind of the perfect amount of spices. It's warm, it's cozy, but somehow still smells incredibly elevated and beautiful. And it's one of those that if I don't smell that while my Christmas trees are in the house, I just don't think that the holidays have really arrived. So Holiday is a must-have, as is Birchwood Pine. Birchwood Pine is not necessarily anything special, but but it's once again just a really beautiful, elevated, high-end holiday tree scent. It's just really, really lovely. And again, it pairs so well with holiday that I have to have both of them. And I always burn them together at the same time. Typically, I will purchase there's sets that come out most holiday seasons that will give you an 8 ounce of holiday as well as an 8 ounce of the birchwood pine. Comes together in a cute box. It's perfect. It's kind of a good one and done. Right now would be the time to stock up on holiday and birchwood pine, because there are several websites, and I'll have some link down below, where you can purchase that duo at a significant savings, either 30, I've been able to find it for either 40 and 50% off as well. So I'll kind of see what the best deals are out there right now. But yeah, definitely some great deals to be had when it comes to both holiday and birchwood pine, especially after the holiday season has ended. So great fragrances. And then the last one that I want to mention is actually a now discontinued, but you can still get it, and I'll link where you can get it, and I think it's actually on a deeper discount now, is their Spiced Orange and Clove, which is essentially just an orange pomander fragrance. And if you know anything about me, you know that I am a orange pomander connoisseur. It's one of my favorite fragrances around the holidays, and it's just something that I'm really, really drawn to. And this particular orange pomander is chef's kiss. It's a little bit more focused on the citrus. There's a definite clove note, but it's not super aggressive. It's a really well done orange and clove scent, and if you are interested in that at all, it's available in a 3-wick as well as a 1-wick. I would not recommend the 3-wick. I'll link it, but I would not recommend the 3-wick. So do what you're gonna do, but you have been warned by me that that is probably gonna get dirty and messy for you at the halfway point. Maybe they've changed something. Now, it has been a little while since I have tested a 3-wick from Nest, but I'm not willing to try it out. Not quite yet. Not until I do a lot more research to see if they actually have changed the formulation, you know. But for me, the 1-wicks usually give me pretty decent strength and throw, and worst case scenario, I would rather buy 2 1-wicks versus 1 3-wick and then have that done out on me at the halfway point. I'm not into that. So anyway, those would be the only 3 fragrances that I would mention from Nest in 2025, and they weren't even necessarily new to me. They are just longtime staples that I just really love and usually always have on hand. So yeah, those are my favorites from Nest, from Sniff, and from Voluspa in 2025. Definitely will be purchasing more from all 3 of these brands here in 2026. If you have suggestions or requests, let me know down below. Yeah, and I would love to know if you have favorites from any of these companies as well. So put those in the comments. I really appreciate you guys being here. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.